I am not dead. Everything seems to get a bit hectic at the diner during the holiday season, especially with decorations, travelers, Christmas carolers, tourists. Anyway, I'll pick up where I left off, but you all should get to the first parts just in case you get confused. So, I work as a waitress at a diner, and for the past 6 years, nearing 7 years, I've encountered things. And I'm gonna tell you about them. This one is the Werecat incident. It probably wouldn't have happened if our temporary cook, Austin, didn't let the stupid things in. Loretta ended up taking a medical leave, considering the burn on her arm from the chimera. So we got saddled with Austin, who, I should say, is a complete idiot. Okay, maybe that's harsh, considering it's probably the second or third time he's encountered a strange creature. However, if you have two people with years of experience telling you not to let the strange cat inside because it turns into a werewolf-cat hybrid, would you A, listen and not let it in, or B, scoff and let it in anyway? If you went with A, congratulations, you have a brain. If B, then congratulations, you're a complete idiot. Also, Leshy still hasn't found that other idiot, La Llorona, but I think it was a good thing because Leshy's wolves sure came in handy. Jay and I had to remove vines from the parking lot while Austin cowered in fear in the men's restroom. Anyway, I knew this was going to go downhill because the first thing he did when he walked in was looked at us and said, "Great, I'm working with Taylor Momsen and Brent Smith." He didn't sound happy about it. I didn't know who Taylor Momsen was, but I knew who Brent Smith was. He's the lead singer of the band Shinedown, if you don't know. I assume Austin meant either the .45 music video, minus the red hair, or the videos with Brent having long hair during the Sound of Madness era. Jay looked at me, already irritated. Well, Brent Smith had some nice hair during the Sound of Madness era, before he got short hair for his recent album. He stared at me. I listened to Shinedown too, so bite me. I held my arm up. Jay grabbed my arm and bit it. Not hard enough to leave a mark or anything, it was more of a nip. Anyway, Jay and I had set rules for Austin to follow. 1, never allow the Lynx cats to come inside since they're werecats. They turn monstrous when let inside. Number 2, never insult the customers, even if they deserve it. Don't insult their appearance since they're sensitive about it. Number 3, don't look Sasquatch in the eyes because it upsets him. Number 4, pull your own weight since we're not going to do your job for you. A few others were things that he should already know. I feel like I should apologize for failing to mention the werecats, but they come and go so very often. Sometimes they're gone for months, and sometimes they hang around for days at a time. I just didn't see how it was important to mention. Anyway, Jay and I were sitting in a booth while Austin looked at us. He asked, "So you're the bisexual gypsy?" Jay looked at Austin, looking very irritated. 1, I'm half Romanian and half Irish. My mom's Irish and my dad's Romanian. 2, if you call me gypsy one more time, I'm going to punch you in the face and then beat you up with a napkin dispenser until either you or the napkin dispenser bleeds. 3, I'm pansexual. Is that why you're into animals? Asked Austin. Jave gave me an, oh my god, this guy is a stupid idiot look. I wonder what sound the napkin dispenser would make if Jay smashed Austin over the head with it a couple hundred times. Or what it would make if I was the one that beat Austin over the head with the napkin dispenser. Jay grabbed my arms and he winced. Sorry, I think you should go check on the wolves and Sasquatch. Suddenly being grabbed was one of my triggers for some reason. It just makes me uncomfortable. Sure, I said. I got up and went outside. I checked on Leshy's wolves. They had plenty of food and water. I went around back to check on Sasquatch, but he wasn't there at the moment. But the werecats were hanging around like they owned the joint. There were 3 of them. I went to the kitchen and had to nudge a werecat aside so I can get inside without it sneaking in. I went back to the dining area, almost getting knocked down by Austin heading into the kitchen. I looked at Jay, who was on his phone. What was that all about? He must have wanted that cigarette, said Jay, shrugging. What did you say to him? I asked. Jay smirked. Many things. I didn't want to know what those many things involved, so I didn't ask. It reminded me of that one incident where I served a small group of teenage boys who once flicked pieces of napkin down the front of my shirt. Jay had gone over to talk to them. I don't know what he said, but the teenage boys apologized to me and refused to look me in the eye for the rest of the day. I still don't know what he said, but I like to think that Jay had put some fear in them. I sat down across from him. He looked a bit bothered, but I'm sure it had nothing to do with Austin's ignorance. "What's wrong with you?" I asked. "Many things," said Jay, grinning. But I knew he wasn't into it. I think he was bothered by Austin calling him a Romani slur, even if it wasn't ignorance. So I don't blame him for it. What's wrong with you?" "Roxana lost her job," said Jay. I felt sympathetic for her. "That sucks. What happened?" Jay nodded. "The bakery she works at closed down and she doesn't have another job, and we asked if she wants to move in with us and she agreed to it. We wouldn't have asked her if she lost her job." Austin may be an arrogant douchebag, but we can't ignore him because we didn't like him. He was our coworker after all, so we ran to the kitchen, right as Austin ran out and down to the restrooms. I stared after him and Jay slammed the kitchen door shut, grabbed my arm and dragged me to the front door. I followed after him because if he was rushing out the diner, then there was danger. "What is it?" I asked. "That idiot let the Werecats in," Jay said. "You've got to be kidding me," I replied. "No," said Jay. We got outside and Leshy's wolves were moving toward us, growling at the Werecats. The Werecats were about 6 feet tall, which didn't seem that threatening, especially to Loretta, who's 6'3". Derek is still pissed at the Werecats because he was still using his appendix. On the bright side, he was pleased that he had 3 cool-looking battle scars on his torso from what happened, though. There was a hissing sound from the Werecats, and I dared to look back. Vines had shot out of the woods and hit the Werecats, which just pissed them off even more. Oops. Jay and I ducked behind my car. I suppose if a Werecat scratched up Jay's car, he'd have to explain it to Craig and Roxana. Sasquatch came rushing out of the woods and body slammed one of the Werecats. Admittedly, I felt a little bad for the Werecat, mostly because getting squashed by Sasquatch looked painful. It even howled in pain. I almost wanted to go over and check on it, but I knew I couldn't in fear of losing one of my internal organs, probably a kidney or a lung. This time, more vines came shooting out of the forest and wrapped around the second Werecat. Vines around its arms and legs dragged it into the forest. Sasquatch wrestled with one Werecat while the wolves fought the last one. They were heading towards the forest. Jay and I headed inside the diner. Of course things were knocked over. How come supernatural creatures have no respect for the building? They come in and just destroy things or knock things over in their haste to kill us. It was probably because they don't have to pay for any damages. Jay and I tried getting Austin out of the restroom, but he wasn't budging, so we ended up fixing things in the diner and grumbling about how useless Austin was being. Maybe I was being the douche about Austin, but it was probably the first time he encountered something supernatural. There are people that couldn't handle the night shift, and there are people that could handle the night shift. He was one of those people that couldn't handle it. I sincerely hope that he wouldn't be traumatized for the rest of his life, though. He was a bit of a douche, but he didn't deserve to have PTSD. So that's how Jay and I ended up clearing up vines from the parking lot.